This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination.
We just broke our 100,000 units sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
Okay, Top Tribe, this week's winner of the $100 is Zach Ferran. He's a 22-year-old Apple employee, and he's listening to the show and loving it. For your chance to win $100 every Monday, simply subscribe to the podcast on iTunes now, and then text the word Nathan to 33444 to prove that you did it to enter. All right, guys, I talked about this earlier, but I schedule like so many meetings that would blow your mind. I mean, all my podcast interviews, right? Hundreds of entrepreneurs I talk to monthly. I schedule, and you know what? I do it so efficiently. I get them all to agree to my calendar, so all the calls are back to back to back. That means I'm not switching in between tasks all day long. I get them to batch so that I can be very efficient. It's so critical. And I use a tool called Acuity Scheduling to do this at nathanlatka.com/schedule. It eliminates the back and forth between me and people I'm trying to meet with. It makes it very simple. And most importantly, they help me keep my no-show rate very low because they send out reminders. Helps you look very professional. So go to nathanlatka.com/schedule to sign up, and you get a great deal. You know, you guys know this. I hit people hard. I make great deals, and Gavin, the CEO, has given us a great deal. If you sign up like normal people, okay, on their website, you only get a 14-day free trial. If you use my link, nathanlatka.com/schedule, you get 45 days free. Okay, it's the best. It's free. Go to nathanlatka.com/schedule right now to sign up, and I'll see you there. This is episode 594, and coming up tomorrow morning, you'll learn from Patrick Allan of N Dreams. It's the #1 virtual reality application creator. They're leading the space. Over 250,000 of their games have been sold into the VR ecosystem, and they've raised $6 million in funding. This is one you don't want to miss if you're in the VR and gaming space. Good morning, everybody. Our guest this morning is Allan Wivy. We had him on back on December 12th of this year in episode 506. His company Klipfolio had raised $7.9 million and passed 7,000 paying customers who they helped build smarter business dashboards. They're really onto something special, and he has some very exciting news to share today. We're going to dive in. Allan, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, for sure, Nathan.
Good. So give us a quick refresher. Just give us the pitch real quick for Klipfolio. What do you guys do?
Sure. So we're an online, a cloud-based real-time dashboard. We're focused entirely on selling into small and mid-sized companies. We've got about 7,000 awesome companies around the world today that are using Klipfolio, and they're using it to monitor everything that matters in their business.
And you have some news. What happened?
So in fall, we went out to market, and we came home with a $12 million Series B raise.
This was very good. So this was late 2016. You went out. You said you want to raise capital on top. So on top of the 7.9 million, you raised an additional 12 million. So now you're up to what, 19.9 million raised total?
Yeah, that's right. Just around there, exactly.
And tell us how you raised the round, because you have an interesting process here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we've got some really good investors around the table, that participated in not only our seed round, but then we, had all of them participate in our A round as well. And the intent, when we started talking about this in summer, the intent was let's go out to market. The company's performing really well. We were basically on a 2x trajectory. So lots of good metrics, lots of good efficiency metrics. Let's go out to market. And we know that there's lots of capital in the market. Let's go out to market and raise a really solid Series B round that will take us, another 24 months. So the initial intent was let's bring a new investor to the table that will strengthen our position and let us move forward with this Series B. So, as we were just chatting about, that turned out a little bit differently. I don't know if you want to get into that story right away. But
well, let me just quickly, guys, to give you a sense of scale. So, Allan, what are you up to now in terms of customers? 7,000?
Yeah, 7,000. That's right.
Okay, and average
and that's about a 2x every year so far.
Okay, and ARPU is about $70 per month.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. A little bit higher than that. Probably more like $100 a month.
So have you guys broken $500,000 in MRR yet?
Yes, we have.
Okay, got it. So you're over that. And what do you think you'll finish 2017 with in terms of MRR?
We're shooting for another 2x.
So you want to get to $1 million?
We feel very confident. Yep, that's right. So that's the target that we're trying to hit.
Okay, and last time you came on, gross churn was 3%. Is that the same or higher or lower?
No, it's about the same. So really, we looked last year as really a top line growth year, and this year we're going to start looking more at, okay, what do we need to do to retain the base? What do we need to really do to strengthen that? Because that's going to be more and more important. Obviously, as the base gets bigger, net retention and logo churn become more and more of a thing that can hold you back or accelerate you.
That's right. And what will you use? I mean, you have to have a really good kind of expansion strategy into your current base to drive, again, net negative revenue churn. What's the number one driver of that currently? Is it number of seats or number of integrations or what?
So there's a number of things. So we don't license per seat. We license per number of dashboards primarily. So we will get customers on usually in a relatively small package. So something that allows them to prove value, to see value, and then once they've gotten to that point, and that's usually within the first maybe 2 to 3 months. That's usually when we see them upgrading. They need more dashboards or they need more other services that we can offer them. So we don't try to push too much stuff right out of the get-go. We really want our customers to see and experience the value first. And once they're solid, that's when they start moving up in plans and pricing points.
Got it. And is CAC still around $300? Or sorry, $700?
No, CAC. Yeah, exactly. So CAC is still around $700. Yep. So we really need to try to keep our efficiencies low. Again, as we scale into this $12 million round, we're actually see our CAC increase a little bit. Yep. So I think this year is going to be a little bit more of an investment year, especially on product. So CAC is probably going to go a little bit up.
Allan, you'll lose more money this year, but you'll drive more growth.
Exactly. And sometimes there's a bit of a tick-tock in that pendulum, right? So there's an investment year, so you invest in the company, right? And then you come up to a funding year, and you want to make sure that all of your metrics are super efficient and nice and sparkly.
Are you still looking at your lifetime value in terms of months, somewhere around 34 months, and lifetime value in terms of dollars, somewhere around $2,300?
So the 23 is right. The 34 was always more like 23 months.
Okay, 23 months. And team size still around 70?
Yeah, we're growing aggressively. So we're probably more like 75 from last time we chatted with, which was a few months ago. But we're probably going to put about 40 to 45 people on staff this year.
Yep. And what is you mentioned your CAC will probably go up from 700. Where are you spending most of that money each month?
So a lot of it is actually going to go right back into product. So we're huge fans of sort of a product first philosophy. And, if you're going after a small and mid-sized crowd and
wait, sorry, really Allan, sorry. Do you include all your product and developer salaries in CAC?
Oh, no, sorry. So the question, you said where is your CAC going to go up? So CAC is actually going to stay somewhat similar, but a lot of the investment from this $12 million is actually going to go into product.
Got it. Where are you, just real quick on CAC first before I go into product, where are you spending most of that money each month?
We're actually some sales and onboarding staff. And then
Allan, you're kind of cutting in and out. Go back real quick. Where are you spending that $700 on customer acquisition?
Yeah. Am I?
You're good now.
Audible again?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to stop moving around. So a lot of what we're doing on the CAC side is we're going to add folks on the onboarding, the acquisition teams. So looking at our sales and support folks. And then from the marketing side, we're actually not going to be pouring a lot of money into paid advertising. We're actually going to put a lot of effort into the content strategy. And we've had tons and tons of luck. And we know other small and mid-sized focused companies that have done the same thing. They've really focused in on SEO and content strategies as opposed to the advertising heavy type of growth strategies.
I just had actually maybe your friend, I don't know if you know him, from Ottawa, Craig Fitzpatrick, on with Pagecloud yesterday. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know Craig really well.
Yeah, he was on yesterday. Ottawa sounds like it's booming, but he mentioned content marketing as well.
You know what? We've been actually swapping notes, with him back and forth. So, yeah, Craig is a great guy.
Yeah, they are. Just if you guys want to go listen to that episode after this one with Allan, Craig just passed $8.5 million raised, about an $18 ARPU, doing about 150 grand in MRR with 6% gross monthly churn, $300 CAC, and about $1,000 LTV. So yeah, good, healthy business there. But so Allan, okay, good. So
totally.
So you're not going to spend a lot on paid acquisition. It'll be on content marketing, and then a lot will go into product.
Yeah, that's right. So we really like this product first philosophy, right? And so much in an SMB focused play is around the product experience, the user experience. So if we can make the whole system more efficient and every journey more efficient by investing in the product or the user experience, I think that is dollars that will pay back tremendously.
Yep. So you raised $12 million. You were negotiating with people that were already in your business. What valuation were you able to negotiate?
So we were able to get a really, really nice valuation. And I mean, this is where a bit of the interest came into play. So I was mentioning to you that we were lucky enough to do a preemptive round, so which basically means that we had funding from our insiders. And that wasn't the intent moving forward. So midsummer, when we said let's go and raise a Series B, the intent was to go out and chat with the standard top tier investors. And as I mentioned, there's tons and tons of money in the system that needs to be placed. So we were getting a lot of good audience.
A lot of VC dollars.
That's right. A lot of VC dollars. Everybody we talked to seemed to have raised a fresh fund. And of course, every day that ticks by, they have more and more difficulty making their investment return. So we were chatting with a number of folks, and we had actually just started our roadshow. This is in October. Some executives and I were in Boston, and I got a call. As we were in Boston doing the roadshow, I got a call from one of our insiders. This is from Omer's Ventures in Toronto. And Omer's is a huge fund as well. Really good guys. And they said, okay, we like your business. Let's make this, short and simple. What would you say if we did an inside round completely led by the current investors? So,
were they already in your business?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
And they were in your Series A.
Exactly. They were all in the Series A. So the offer from them to me was, listen, you won't have to do 4 months of a roadshow because it takes a long time. And a Series B is arguably one of the most difficult raises that a company can go through. So they were saying, okay, we can probably get this done in a matter of maybe a month and a half. The folks around the table. The due diligence is going to be way simpler. The legal process is going to be simpler. So the only question that remained, and there's maybe two questions. One was, I have to put my board hat on here, is it a pitfall or is it a negative not to bring a new outside VC to the table? So yes or no, right? And the other question that we had to look at was who's going to set the valuation? Because now we don't have an outsider coming to the table and setting the valuation or the multiple. Yep. And I think that was the bigger question mark in my book.
So what was the offer?
So the first offer, and I'm not going to go into super specifics, but the first offer was lowball, right? And I knew that,
tell us what lowball means, but not in terms of the number you actually got offered, but in terms of the ARR multiple. Was like the lowball 3x ARR or less or more?
No. So the lowball was, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 to 5. Okay. I think it was closer to 5 times ARR multiple. Okay. And there was all sorts of stuff, all sorts of discounting and whatnot. And, really stuff that, for the most part, we didn't think was valuable.
Yeah, you told me, by the way, on the first episode, your goal was to do like a 50 or 60 million pre-money. You said that would be like, you'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So we were obviously at the time in Boston, chatting with a number of folks. So I told the insiders that, I would seriously consider it. But in the meantime, let me continue chatting with a couple of folks. And these are other VCs that I had, relationships with for the past 12 months, sometimes 18 months. These things, they take time. There's a lot of trust. It's a slow process. So the idea was, let's continue discussions with interested parties, folks that we're interested in, they're interested in us, and let's see what kind of a valuation or multiple or terms we can get on the table. And keep in mind that so I often gloss over that. But in many cases, terms are probably more important than valuation multiple or the actual pre and post. So we did that. We actually got very far with two other actually one here in Toronto as well, and one in Boston. And we really, really got far. I mean, they basically told us, where we're going to fit. And we were able to use that to say, hey, listen,
leverage
to the insiders, this is what we believe market demands. And in a very short call, we basically figured it out. There was not a lot of back and forth, and huge hats off to the insiders.
Well, so Allan, what did you end up going? So the low ball was 5x-ish ARR. What did you end up doing it at pre-money?
We got to basically where we wanted to be. And if you had that number from the previous call, that's basically where we got to. So you were going to get somewhere around. You don't have to be specific, but somewhere around a $50 million pre-money. Yeah, we got in that sort of 6, 7, 8% or times multiple. Yeah. So you know what, this was perfect. This is what we were expecting going into the round. This is exactly the type of business, the growth metrics, everything else, and the terms that we were seeing in the market. So at the end of the day, we were very happy. Not only that, but we were also extremely pleased with the term.
Give me
an example of two terms. Give me
an example of two terms that you really liked.
So I think, there was really not a lot in there, but one of them was, there was a 1 times multiple.
You mean liquidation preference?
That's right. A 1 times liquidation
Guys,
preference.
what that means, just quickly, because we're running out of time, all that means is that when if Allan sells the company for $200 million, the investors get 1 times their money back before the rest of the money gets distributed on a pro rata basis or a weighted basis across the rest of the cap table. Is that accurate, Allan?
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that was super cool, and they did the same thing, and this is pretty rare, but again, it sort of speaks to the trust and the type of investors. There was an anti-dilution clause that expires after 2 years.
Which protected all the common holders and you, right?
That's right. So if we happen to do a down round within 2 years, there's some anti-dilution protection. Fair enough, right? But after 2 years, it expires, right? So, just, really, really nice, favorable, investor-friendly, entrepreneur-friendly terms. And that really makes a big difference.
So what did they do? They gave you another 2 years, or they extended that?
It's the same thing. So there's another 2 years on the Series B. So in 2 years, the anti-dilution will expire.
That's great. Well, guys, what do you think about this? Do you like it when I have founders on that, usually don't have people on twice, but I kind of like the idea of kind of keeping track with people that I interviewed 6 or 12 months ago to see what they're doing. Allan's a shining example up there in Ottawa of a growing company, raising capital, having a lot of success. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Allan, I want to thank you very much. We've got your famous 5 already. Have any of your books or anything like that changed? Have you popped out any more kids since we last chatted?
No, none of that. Just try more. I just want more customers, no more kids.
There you go. Well, Allan, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Awesome. Thanks, Nathan.
If you enjoyed Allan today, go back and listen to Mike yesterday of XOR Data. They launched in 2014 and over the next year put in over $800,000 to build their product. Now they've raised over $6 million and announced on my show yesterday they raised an additional $2 million. They're now up to 10 people total. Guys, I get asked all the time, Nathan, you host all these interviews, hundreds of them per month. How do you do them efficiently? And guys, the answer is simple. People always agree to my calendar, back-to-back meetings. I batch my interviews to stay very efficient. And the way that I do it is I use a tool called Acuity Scheduling at nathanlatka.com/schedule. And the reason I use them is very simple. They keep my no-show rate very low because they send out reminders about when the interview or the meeting is coming up. And also, they make it very easy to schedule time, right? I don't have to go back and forth via email 10,000 times with people I'm trying to meet with. Okay, at nathanlatka.com/schedule. It helps me so much. And by the way, Look, I have so many meetings. I'm the best in meetings. Okay, I do them back to back, very, very efficient. You guys know me. Many people say I'm the most efficient they've ever seen. Okay, so I use the tool. It's so efficient. And by the way, I got Gavin. I said, Gavin, he's the CEO. I said, I want a great deal for my people. He said, Nathan, well, most people get a 14-day trial. Isn't that great? I said, no. He's given us a 45-day free trial at nathanlatka.com/schedule. That's not going to stay up forever, so go get it now. nathanlatka.com/schedule. Okay, Top Tribe, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. And don't forget, before you listen to any other episodes, subscribe on iTunes right now for your chance to win $100 every Monday.